Hello, I'm Zachary Newell. Do you ever feel like humanity deserves a better world than the one we've built for ourselves? Personally, I just can't shake the feeling. That's why I'm here, to talk about what we've been doing and how we can do it better.
Welcome to Better Futures.
Hey, hi, how are you doing? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey Jack, I'm doing good. My name is Priyank and I am currently in India. There is not a lot of interesting reasons why I'm here. I am not a academic or an organizer or anything. I think I am here primarily because we are good friends.
Yeah, we are
Yeah,
good
yeah.
friends, and I
Uh,
personally liked your thinking on many subjects, so I wanted to ask you a few things.
yeah, that's what I wanted sort of establish for people who may listen to this to not expect too much. I'm just an ordinary guy.
All right, understood. Well, whatever you have to say, I look forward to hearing it.
Thanks, bro.
For sure. All right, my first question. What do you see going on in the world today that is detrimental to human well being?
Detrimental to human well-being. Well, I don't want to come off as edgy or anything, but almost everything. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
understood. Can you give
yeah.
us just a couple examples?
I swear, like I'm not trying to be like emo or anything. But so when this COVID crisis started, I read really good piece on it by a Marxist based in China. They are sort of underground in China because the government doesn't like them because they happen to be somewhat closer to Marx than the Communist Party there. So this journal is called Chuang, and I may be mispronouncing it. Sorry if I am. And the spelling is Chuang, and they had a piece called Social Contagion. And in that piece, they drew from a lot of epidemiological papers and research work done over the past decades, and a couple of books written by different epidemiologists. Primarily, they drew from a book called Big Farms Make Big Flus by Robert Wallace. So, in that article, they overwent how capitalist processes produce pandemics or make pandemics much more likely as a byproduct of how they cut across natural landscapes and natural biodiversity results. So, like if you read that piece and you see the expansion of wildlife farming in China, and if you follow it up with the scale of these operations in China and then across the world, even in America and Europe, even in this small aspect of virological and bacterial threats promoted by capitalism, it seems so dire and helpless when you take it all together. It looks so obvious that we are completely helpless. Like we were absolutely lucky we did not have a pandemic 10 years ago or 5 years ago. We are sitting on a ticking time bomb every day. So I cannot reproduce all the arguments they made in that article and all the citations they drew on. But if anyone is interested, they should look it up. So that is just one example, and like this pandemic is a very small expression of the ecological disturbance we have created. We are all familiar with climate change, but even going beyond climate change, if we solve climate change tomorrow, we will still have to deal with biodiversity loss, which is going to be like a much bigger issue than climate change. And if we deal with that, we will have even greater issues like acidification of oceans and loss of ozone layer. It was filling up again, now it is opening up again. And all these problems are not created by accidents, they are not created by mismanagement. All of them are being created by core processes that drive everything in the globe. Everything is under capital and they are being created by the core processes of capital. So like everything we do inside capitalism, from going to work to turning on our computers or Netflix or anything, like I'm not trying to make people feel guilty about these things because nothing is under their control, but even lifting our finger basically under capitalism, we are like pushing along this multi-fold disaster. So everything that is going on in the world is detrimental, except for maybe here and there where some true resistance is happening. 99.9% of the processes happening on the globe right now, human processes, even human life processes, like air conditioning is becoming more and more necessary to have a not unhealthy living environment. So like even our basic life processes are becoming detrimental to environmental well-being and by in turn our well-being too. I'm just touching upon the environment here. I'm not even getting into mental health issues. I am no expert on mental health or anything, but I genuinely believe we are in some sort of mental health pandemic. We have been for a long time, and I'm speaking out way out of my league here, but I genuinely believe we are in middle of one.
I think that's an interesting point. I never encountered it before, but working with it as a metaphor, I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, surely like not a pandemic like an infectious disease, of course, but like it's like we are in a condition where mental health is deteriorating rapidly and wide in a widespread manner. across the globe. And like when you think about it, how can it not be? The environments most of us live in, the kind of hopelessness we face every day. Like especially today in this 1 year after the pandemic, I think we are all in better touch with our hopelessness in this system.
Okay, well, let me talk about the hopelessness of the system, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what kind of future could you imagine us producing as an alternative system, in social, political, economic, or other cultural terms, either address this mental health pandemic, I suppose, or address at least the hopelessness to give us some hope. And perhaps the hopelessness itself is an expression of the mental health pandemic, if you would not mind. I'd love to hear what you think.
Of course, these are all connected things, and we cannot solve our widespread mental health issues or whatever without solving many other issues together. And like, I am far from well equipped to chart out any system. Honestly speaking, I am far from well equipped to manage my own life, let alone chart a system for all humans. so, but but what I feel is like among all those people who think about these things today and who are concerned with these questions, and who are a sort of like, let's say, an anarchist or of a communist bent, not just even left or social democrats, but people who are basically outside the system of the left wing and right wing of capital, who want to be outside that system. This may not be the assumed context of your podcast, but I can only speak to that context. I think like they should also give up on this task of creating a blueprint for a future society. Like, because I feel we are in such a bleak position that we have no visibility on the horizon. We are completely surrounded by capital. We are completely inundated by it. So I think what we can do instead is formulate a sort of communism, and if any Marxists are listening to this, they will scoff at it, probably many anarchists and all too, but we should formulate a communism or an anarchism within our resistance. The only thing that is visible right now on the horizon of possibility is resistance. Like what comes after it is like completely invisible to me, and I think it is invisible to all of us, and we should accept that truth. That only thing we can do right now is fight and create possibilities, open up avenues of possibilities, so things can flow in from outside this blanket of capital, outside this suffocating darkness.
Well,
And then, sorry.
no, and then
Yeah, so and you told me about this podcast like a week ago, and like just yesterday I came across this book, The Communism of Happiness by Michael Terry. Did not know it before. I am only like the first chapter of it, and in that he touches upon this very thing. How can we formulate any sort of resistance without some really concrete plan or blueprint about what we want to achieve? So one of the points he brings up is that we have to give up on the idea of communism as a progress, as a transformation from current situation and current conditions and their processes towards a different situation, towards different processes. We must envision communism as an explosion.